Hey guys, welcome to the shop. I've been working really hard on this shop, trying to get it improved to the point to where I can work in it. You know, it's somewhat presentable, and it's been a big job. I've got some new lights for inside of my office, where all my machines are. I call that the office. So we're going to do a little before and after. I'm going to show you what I'm using right now for light, and you'll probably understand why I need some new ones, especially with filming. So let's go in the shop and I'll show you what I'm doing. Alright guys, here's an area of the shop that you don't see very often, and you know, there's a reason for it. The lighting sucks and it's usually pretty messy, and I've been working on it lately, trying to get it, you know, straightened up and presentable, and trying to make an area that I can actually work on stuff and, you know, find the stuff that I have, because that's been a big problem for me, is just organization. And it's real easy for a shop to get in disarray pretty quick, and that was my problem. And you know, working a full-time job, not having a lot of time, you know, filming on top of it, you know, trying to run a YouTube channel, and you know, everything else that goes along with being a, you know, dad, really, you know, zaps the time. But I've been spending a lot of my time lately trying to organize this place and get it more, you know, user-friendly, really. And so that's where a lot of my time's been going. You can see that this place is wired for the fluorescent lights, and they work, but you know, they're really loud, and sometimes they'll flicker, sometimes some of them will come on and off. The ballasts are bad in them, and the ballast costs more than the whole light fixture. They're just a pain in the butt, and I'm not changing these right now, simply for financial reasons, but I will be in the future. I'm going to be upgrading to some more energy efficient lights. Right now I'm using these old factory lights is what I got them at. They're 400 watts a piece. They put off a lot of light, but it's, you know, they'll blind you if you look at them. They're like looking at the sun, and they're extremely noisy. They hum. The bulbs are extremely expensive if they do go out, so we need to upgrade our lights in here, but that'll be at a later date. But what we are going to upgrade the lights in is in the office. I call it my office, but it's where all my machines are, my lathe, my mill, and my shaper, and my couple presses and my saw, all in that area there, because it's an enclosed area. It's actually 25% of my shop, basically, and I can heat that area easily, fairly easily, and work in there in the winter when, you know, the temperatures are low, and it's really convenient. But this is the area where I keep most of my, you know, just, it's a catch-all really, but most of my cutting equipment, my 2 welders, my oxygen acetylene, and some work tables, my grinding equipment over there, and just general storage really. Over here to my right, I've got some hardwood flooring and stuff, and this side of the shop is really just a catch-all for me. I'm not going to really be showing it. It's just general, you know, junk that I've gathered over the years that I really need to get rid of, a lot of it. I've got some longleaf yellow pine here, hardwood flooring, that's going to go in the house. I salvaged it out of an old farmhouse, and I've been working on it, you know, lately here and there when I get a few minutes, and it's a lot of work. You know, it's been painted over and needs refinished, but that's a totally different subject. But that's taking up a lot of space in my shop too. Plus my shop has some major foundational issues that need addressed, and that'll have to be at a later date. We'll go over that, but let's go in the shop. I'll show you the lights that I have in there now, and what I've been using, and what's been generating all the light for every video almost that you've seen so far from me. So let's go in here and look at them, and I'll show you the lights I'm going to use to replace them. Alright, now look how horrible the light is in here. These are my lighting that I use. I've got 2 of these that I use for filming, and I don't have them on for a reason, and that's because, you know, I want you to see what it's really like in here. It's like a dungeon almost. I've got 2 of these big lights just like I had out there, and one of them recently the ballast went bad in, and you just can't buy these things anymore, and I wouldn't, if I had the extra money to buy them, I would not replace the ballasts in these big lights. because they're inefficient. You know, they put off a lot of heat. They're noisy. You know, they're just not good light. You know, the ceiling is really not high enough to take full advantage of the, you know, the angle at which they put off light. I've got one light, LED, 4 foot, I think it is, over my bench that I do work from, and it's really dark in here. You know, it's horrible. So let's bring you in here. I'll get some extra light on you so you can really see what we're talking about, and we'll look at the lights that I'm going to install. Alright guys, here's a look at the box. Now these are just flat panel lights. There's 2 per box. I'm not promoting or selling any of these lights. I get nothing out of this or nothing. So I don't want you to think that I'm selling you lights, because I'm not. I do want to say the advantage of lights, and that's, you know, something that I've been doing without for a long time. But these are just flat panel 40-watt LED lights, and they're actually pretty nice. And I think they're going to really make a big difference in the shop here. They're 120 volt. You know, there's the back. They're really thin as far as profile. The biggest part is the electrical box here. I've got one on my bench, and let's put some power to it. Turn these lights off, these extra lights, and see what kind of light these things put out. Alright, and I've just got a standard plug here, 3-wire, line, neutral, and ground. And take off this little cover here. I did this once yesterday, and I was really surprised at the light, and I just want to share it with you and show you. I like the profile of these lights really well. They are real thin, and they seem to put off a really nice light that is shadowless, or because of how wide they are. You know, the beam that they put off is not, you know, focused at one point like most of your lights that you know, focus light into a beam, and then, you know, anywhere outside of that you get a shadow. With these, it doesn't seem to be quite that bad. You got a pretty good field of light. At least that's the way it appears. Okay, these look like you know, they're real easy. You can tie, you know, your lights together here. You can dim these if you like. They are dimmable. And we got the AC line and AC neutral, and then your standard ground. And they come with, this light in particular comes with really neat little clips. You just stick them in there and lock it. Okay. So we got our line, and then our neutral. Alright, tighten this up a bit so if I don't pull on the connections. These don't weigh much either. You know, I'm not selling these, like I've said 100 times. But the new lights, at least LED, are extremely light, and they don't take up near the space or use near the energy. This is, like I think I said, 40 watt. Yeah, so it draws half an amp, a little over half an amp. You can run these on 100 volt to 240, and yeah, 44.1 watts. I mean, that's nothing. The current big light that you've seen is, you know, 400 watts. I mean, imagine the light or the power that uses. So we won't put that on right now. So let's turn off this. Let's plug this guy in. turn off this light. This is just the light over the bench. Plug this in. And look at that. Wow. Now, I may have to do more than 4 of these, I'm not for sure, but that is good, clean, white light. It's not the yellow light. I really dislike, yellow lights. But there it is. There's the light panel. Get you back a little bit, get you a little better view. Here's the panel. Man, that's, I don't know how well it transfers onto camera, but this guy is really nice, bright light. So I'm going to start putting these up. We'll show you some, time-lapse or fast-forward stuff, and then we'll do a comparison. Alright. Do you want to be on the ladder, or do you want to be up above the roof?
Ladder.
It's going to suck. So, I'm going to put one above this machine here, one above the shaper. I'm going to put one above the lathe. I've got 4 of these lights. I'm going to put one above the milling machine, which is off to your right. And then one above my saw, which is in the other corner of the shop. So, this is going to take a while. I'm going to be hanging these by wires up tight next to the ceiling. So it's going to take me and my wife, and it'll probably take hours. Alright, I got one up, or just partially up. It's hanging halfway, down because I have to be able to wire it. And the way that these are, unless I want to cut a hole in the ceiling the size of the small electrical box that's on the back, I have to set that basically up flush with the ceiling. And you can't wire it like that unless you get basically all of them up. And these will be tied together because they're the electrical junction or connection in the box or in the electrical box allows for that to happen. You can just run, chain them together because they're really low power draw, and you can use, fairly light duty electrical cord for them. And that's what I'm doing. All the electrical cord will be above the ceiling, so it should be pretty nice. And what I'm hanging these with is just stainless steel wire. I'm going to bring in, I'm just using this stainless steel braided wire. I'm wrapping it around. Just trying to make it simple because chances are I'll be doing something extra or modifying this ceiling in the not too distant future. So I'm not going to go all out hanging these, but I want them to be secure and safe. So we're just using stainless steel wire, and we're going to hang them like that. How's that look? It's looking good?
Yeah.
Look level?
Come on. Yeah, it looks fine. Come here.
Alright. That's 2.
Now this one's more close to the other one than that one.
It's okay for now. And it looks like I need to bring up that back corner a little.
Or bring that one down. You can't tell really that one, see. I don't know what end. It's hard to tell on the end, but I don't know if that end needs to come down or that end needs to go up.
It's okay.
It's hard to tell.
It's okay for now.
I think that end needs to just go up.
That is right over this machine. That should be good light. Alright. 1, 2, and 3. And then I got to take down these 2. And then we'll, see what we got.
That one should look perfect. I'm gonna go down.
Alright. Alright guys, I got a mess in here, but I have worked all day. You can see this dark out there, me and my wife. Elizabeth, wave to him, Elizabeth. Yeah, she helped us, me and her, we really worked hard today to get these lights up. And it made a huge difference, and I'm going to pan over here. And you can see it's dark in there. All we've got is our one light over the workbench. And we took down the large lights that were hanging there, and that only one of them worked. And we have decreased our energy usage by over 50%. Just one of those big bulbs was 400 watts, and these are only 44 apiece. So we've more than half. All right, Noel, flip them on. Wow, what a difference a few lights make. I mean, you can actually see everywhere in here now. It is, I mean, almost no shadow. You can actually see what a mess the place is now. We spent a lot of time, getting those lights up, and I'm not 100% satisfied with the installation, but I consider it I mean, they're installed extremely well. It's just not something that I would say that's permanent, because I'm gonna upgrade the ceiling. But yeah, I mean, amazing difference. You can see the lathe, and behind the lathe actually, and the shaper on both sides. I mean, that other light was basically just a big spotlight, and it was not good at all. But we can see our workbench. We still could use a little light back in here, but it's pretty good. I mean, we got our compressor there. That's our next job, is to plumb air in here, and I'm going to put air over every machine. I've got most of the stuff to do it, and I need to do something with all them junky bandsaw blades up there. It looks horrible. I need to remove this AC unit also, or heater, and put a real heater in here. But I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Oh, there's a roach on the floor. Oh no, that's my son. He's hiding from the camera. But it turned out really nice. I'm really happy with it. You make sure to get that tape measure off the top of that milling machine. But really big thanks to my wife. And another thing that I noticed is when I painted in here, I painted it gray, all the walls, and that really zapped a lot of the light that I had. So there we go. Turned out real nice. I'm really happy with it. I'm sorry I'm hand holding here. That's a little make you seasick, but it turned out great. Well guys, there you have it. 4 lights. What are they? 44 and a half watts a piece. That's 180 or 178 watts. That's half of what that one light was. That one light was 400 watts. So we've reduced our energy use, or wattage, by half, and got more light. It's just light placement. These LED lights, are not that expensive. These days, used to, these were, ridiculously expensive, but nowadays about anybody can afford them, really. And it turned out real nice. We worked real hard. I'm filthy. My wife worked real hard. Her up on the ladder was pretty entertaining, but she was a trooper and really done a great job, and I could not have done it without her, and I really appreciate it. And I'm extremely pleased with the light that I have in here now. I can actually see, there's not much shadow because of the shape of the lights. They really do a good job. And it'll help me to bring you, better footage that you can see, and I won't have to move 100 lights around, that's for sure. I've been really busy around the shop, usually I try to put out a video every week, but that's, not always possible with having to work all the time. And, what I've been doing is just working around the shop, trying to get this place, organized and, in better, usable condition. Before I was tripping over things and stuff, and it's just, doesn't work well. So that's what I've been doing. I've been really organizing the shop. I've got several new things that I want to show you, in the future, about how I'm organizing my stuff, and it's really not that hard and not expensive, and man, it makes a huge difference. If you know where it's at, you can just go get it, and you don't have to hunt for it. And you save tons of time. It takes a little time in the beginning to get sorted out, but once you get sorted out, you can go right to your items. And that's what I'm trying to work on, is to clean this place up to where I can use it, I can share it with you, and I can find what I need to get the projects done. I've got tools coming in the future for new projects. That's why my angle plate's been on hold, my index angle plate. I've got a tool coming that I really think will help me do the job a little better, and I can't wait to review that tool and then show it to you and use it, to complete the project. But that's enough for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. It was kind of pretty quick, but I think it turned out real nice. I know that I'm happy with it, and my wife's happy with it. And thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If you haven't, make sure to subscribe to the channel by clicking on my little guy up here, and hit the bell for notifications. And as always, I'll see you next time.